can we just recognize that Britain is like the worst country? Because it doesn't have a purpose anymore. Unified Ireland could, Scotland could, but the problem is like all Britain has right now is being a dying empire. They're too arrogant to be a part of Europe, which is where the future lies like prosperous trade and unity with your regional neighbors. They're too arrogant and high fucking snooty. It's like Britain, you aren't the only former colonial power, okay? The fucking Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, Spain, France, all of these countries had vibrant overseas empires, and some, France, still do. And you're over here like, we've never really considered ourselves a part of Europe. What the fuck are you talking about? Listen, there's nothing sadder than a dying empire, okay? Like, Russia did the same thing. America is a current empire. We're still an empire. We have the power to justify our conceit, which, not to say that means it's, like, good or anything, but it does sort of justify, I mean, the dollar is still, like, the global reserve currency. But if we're talking about, like, national identity, England, Britain, whatever, I use these interchangeably even though I shouldn't, should just be a part of Europe and accept that. This is the same thing with Russia, right? Look at all the harm that's been done from Russia trying to cling onto its colonial ambitions, right? Like if Russia just like fallen in line, you forgot about Wales. I don't think Wales can really exist like independently, right? I don't think it's large enough to like Scotland and Ireland can be like separate things. Yeah, I don't think Wales really can. Maybe like in the future someday, like some kind of like weird city state thing. I don't know. That's not true. Wales has a pretty big independence movement. Oh, I know that. I just don't know how much it could, reasonably act autonomously with its size. Whatever. Would globalism, i.e. a one world government, be legit preferable? Yeah, that's communism. Yeah. A stateless society would mean a world with no states, would mean one single. Yeah, absolutely. What about USA versus the rest of the world? People have given me shit for this take, but I genuinely believe it. If you took nuclear weapons off the table, in which case, of course, any global war means the world ends. If you took all nukes off the table and you're limited to, like, conventional weaponry, I still think the US would win against the rest of the world, in large part because of our defensible position. We're in the middle of the ocean. Canada and Mexico are both weak, and to our north and south. A lot of them would have to come through the sea or come through, like, defensible passes. I think, yeah. That's like kind of jerk off like Hearts of Iron 4 tier shit, but I do believe it. Like people do not understand what America is like. It is so fucking wild how much money we spend in the military. It is insane. It is unimaginable how much we spend. Just it's like that whole, the world's largest air force is the US Air Force, and the second largest air force is the US Navy, Oh, it's the other way around? Wait, the US Navy has a larger air force than the US Air Force? Hell yeah. The One Piece is real. Yeah, we have 11 nuclear carriers. Yeah, our nuclear carriers are pretty cool. Very big. The fucking Buster call. Imagine if the military worked like that. Just fucking anime, dude. You just have like one like wandering like US corporal just somewhere in Syria or something, and they scream into the radio like, yeah, Buster call activate or something, and 6 hours later like $4 trillion worth of military equipment is assembled like off the off the shore, just liquidating the fucking. God, thank God it doesn't work like that. It kind of does work like that. We had a lot of really close calls with nuclear submarines during the Cold War. It kind of actually works a little bit like that. Sometimes. Wild stuff. Oh, wait, Sookton said something. Wait, what? Wait, STL, retype what you said? I saw that you said something. I didn't see what you said. Yeah, I love starting nuclear Armageddon. This is one reason I think first worldism is in trying to turn America socialist, rather than focusing exclusively on third worlders trying to achieve revolution in their poor countries, is so important. If the US goes fascist, it can really destroy the world. Yeah, at the very least, it's important to, like, hold off the first world, right? Like, you can't just leave the first world like, oh, if it goes fascist, whatever, we're already fascist. Like, no one in the world can be socialist as long as America is militarily anti-socialist. We will not allow it. No one can survive. U.S. largest aircraft carrier. The USS Gerald Ford. $13 billion? Dude, Elon Musk could have like 20 of these. What the fuck? Why, as a billionaire, would you not simply have an aircraft carrier? Look at that. Gerald Ford. I always fuck this up. Gerald Ford? Gerald Ford. I always fuck that up. There's like 7 viable pronunciations, and I fuck it up every single time. What's the crew for this ship? About 2,600 people. God damn. That's a lot of people. Oh, do you want to hear something really wild, by the way? Back during the age of sail, some of the largest battleships that were constructed, like the 4th-rate ship of the lines, I think they actually had a comparable crew size, despite literally being like wooden sail ships. What was the largest age of sail warship of the line? It was from the UK, the HMS Victoria. Yeah, and the HMS Victoria had a crew of about 1,000 officers and men. Yeah, just kind of interesting to think that like the largest aircraft carrier in the world had a crew size that wasn't that much larger than the largest age of sail battleship. You know? There's a lot of people. Oh, sorry, 1st-rate ship of the line, not 4th-rate. It counts up, not counts down. 1st-rate, 3-decked ship of the line commissioned for sea service. With a displacement of 7,000 tons, she was the largest ever wooden battleship, 260 feet long, and 121 guns. On the lower deck, 30 on the central deck, 32 on the upper deck, 26 on the upper deck, including a 68-pounder gun. A 68-pounder gun, which I assume is used to sink cities? God, perhaps? Most cannons used back then were 12-pounders. What the fuck are you doing with a 68-pounder? Jesus Christ. House the homeless in aircraft carriers? True! Sorry, we're rolling it back right now. Hold on. Did you know the USSR sold billions of dollars worth of naval ships to the Pepsi Corporation in order to settle debt? Yep. For a while, the Pepsi Corporation was the 6th largest navy in the world. This didn't really happen? Yeah, it did. Don't try to make reality less cool than it is. Obviously, Pepsi wasn't like arming and deploying these fleets. I'm not saying that Pepsi was like sailing around the Atlantic in a naval group, but they did own those ships. That was their navy. You know, the Soviets were selling, well, I guess the Russians were selling off Soviet scrap because they were in debt and they wanted sweet, sweet Pepsi. No, it isn't. They never owned the ships. Really? What the fuck is wrong with you? Vaush, no, it isn't. They never owned the ships. As remarkable as it may seem, Pepsi did indeed own Soviet warships. What the fuck? Why would you link this to me? Labor you! Labor you! It has often been suggested by owning these ships, Pepsi became the largest name in the world. In reality, it never took possession of the vessels acquired. No, I never claimed that Pepsi staffed the ships, but they owned them, yeah. They didn't have like Pepsi, like minimum wage employees, like rearming the like 12.7 millimeter like fucking autocannons or some shit. You know, as fun as that would have been for a vacation job, you know. I saw someone earlier in chat say that earlier aircraft carriers actually had like 5,000 to 6,000 people. And that the reason the modern one only has 2,000 is because of a lot of automation, which is probably good. You know, if the ship ever gets sunk, you want fewer casualties, I guess.